Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. Certainly glad to have you today. And as always, you can see our programs on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's Channel 18. And today we have with us Becky. She's a local businesswoman, co-owner of several local businesses actually. But today we're going to be talking about the Dolce located on Cherry Street next to BTC Fiber and Mama Tried food truck. So Becky, it's good to have you. I've been wanting to have you for a while, so it's good to have you.
Thank you so much.
And we want to talk about your new store. It opened up just a few weeks ago, right?
It opened up a few weeks ago, and I'm really, my passion is the history, saving the old buildings in Dunlap and keeping our heritage. So that building, I think, was originally a pool hall, is what I've been told. And then it involved a Seventh-day Adventist church, had it for a while as a thrift store. So it was in disrepair like all the others, but it's really cute now. It is a ladies' boutique, and it is my tribute to Dolly, because I love Dolly. Everybody loves Dolly, but Daddy taught Porter Wagner how to fish.
Oh, really?
So Daddy and Porter were big buddies, and we went to the Porter Wagner show when Dolly was there.
Oh.
So I've always loved her. So it's all pink. It's a little bit country and a lot of glitz.
Well, that's neat, and because everybody knows Dolly.
Everybody loves Dolly. Yeah.
And sweet lady, and she has history as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Dolly is I'm just so inspired by her, because she's never forgotten Tennessee. She's always given back to her roots. And, she's an amazing lady. I mean, the Imagination Library, she just gives and gives and gives. So it's just, I mean, I'm just really inspired by her.
Well, what caused you to start this store? I mean, I know y'all had the mercantile and getting it ready in the yard and other things that y'all had going on.
Right.
Well,
I have leukemia, and so we were living in Florida for a while. Excuse me. And we were working down there in different charities and different types of philanthropy. And I was working really hard, but I just felt such a tug about our little town, because the downtown area was always just shuttered. There were so many closed stores. They were just shuttered and dark. And I just couldn't stand for them to tear those buildings down. I mean, it's horrible. So they were just tearing them down one at a time, and I just thought sooner or later they're going to be gone. So it was really a God thing, because there's no way that so many people could be so passionate about it, and we could end up with the crew, the people that we have that are all just love Dunlap and are just working hard every day to save our downtown. And, our vision is that people will be walking downtown. They'll be, instead of just, running through the red light as fast as they can drive, we want them to be out walking downtown and visiting the coke ovens and just seeing what Dunlap and Sequatchie Valley has to offer, because it is so beautiful. And I think growing up here, we take it for granted, but it's just God's country.
Well, I know. Excuse me. I know what. Excuse me. I know when I taught school, and when I tell the children, I said, "Now look, when I first moved here, all these things here are not here," and I'd go back and tell them, say, "Well, what was?" And they said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, really." I said, "Dunlap was just you passed through it, and if you blinked, you missed it."
Well, I am probably the last generation of the mom and pops. And so when I grew up, there wasn't McDonald's or Hardee's, we had the drive-in, we had Leon's Dairy Bar and Wim Bob, and that was it.
Yeah.
But it was a blessing to grow up here. And you knew your hardware person, you knew your grocer, you knew they would deliver your groceries. I mean, you just had such a customer service, but you had friends that were running those stores.
Right.
I mean, you had Daddy had the Hatfield Pharmacy, Preston had Kate's, and Briggs had Smith's, and you knew these people by name, and they were people that were really active in the community. gave back to Dunlap and wanted the best for Dunlap and everybody that lived here. So, that is my dream, is to give that back. The big box is here.
Yeah.
Technology is here. But why can't we have both? Why can't we have a little personality where if you choose to go in and have a cup of coffee at a soda fountain, it's still there?
Yes.
And, I've always admired Pikeville because they had, in the beginning, they really tried to restore their history. They started with, I think, First National Bank, and their town is so cute, and the Victorian homes as you drive in.
Right.
They've done a wonderful job. And I want us to be able to have a downtown that's active. I want Dunlap to have jobs where our kids can find jobs here,
right.
And they don't move away. They don't graduate from Sequatchie County High School and then leave. So it's a calling. It's a labor of love. But that old building was a treasure trove. We found so much history about Sequatchie County, and actually Dunlap, how the telephone company, the lines were brought to Dunlap. One of the owners, there was 4 owners, 4 couples. One was the superintendent of school. One was large in the formation of Sequatchie County Bank. So the beginning of the business, the Dunlap government started in that building. It was the Democratic headquarters for where they voted.
Well,
We found old ballots. We found so many cool things in that building.
Well.
So it was just a treasure trove that had been sitting there all these years.
Wow.
And we're trying to get it on the historic registry. So it is a true historic restoration. We lost the floor, but we saved enough to do the stage, which we have concerts. We've had ticketed concerts, we've had free concerts, but we have church about once a month, and we have wonderful music. So it is. It's just been such a blessing to me. It's been a blessing to everybody that works with us. And I said we started with a crew and we ended with a family.
Right.
Because it's just a special project, and we're very proud of it. But it's a gift. It's Dunlap. It's for everybody. And so I want everybody to be able to see what their grandfathers or their great grandfathers, because we found ledgers with the old families that have been here for generations. Their names are in those ledgers.
Well.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's really cool.
It is.
Because that saves the history.
That does save the history. We've had the Tennessee historian, Dr. Van West, here a couple of times, and Stephanie Hare. She went to grade school. She went to Griffith when she first started school, but I think she moved away. But she's involved with historical preservation, so we are very lucky to have her in Sequatchie County.
Well, that's great, because history's a good thing to have, because if you lose your history, you never know all the good stories and things behind it.
There's a picture of the old Sequatchie County bank building when it was being built, and I think it was 1906. But my great uncle was on top of that building helping lay the brick.
Oh.
So, I just can't let those buildings, if we can help it, we don't need to tear those buildings down.
No.
They're special.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They really are. And the way y'all have done your buildings, the ones that y'all own, and especially like the yard, I wouldn't have thought of anything like that, but it's developed into something really nice.
Well, God gave me a gift of vision, and I've been blessed with that, and I just think about it and see what works. I try to take what I have to work with and restructure it or plan it out. But it's a lot of fun for me, and it's something for me to do. you know.
Well, at your store, the Dolce. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mess it up every time
That's
I
okay.
pronounce it. What are some of the things that y'all carry in there? I mean,
Okay, we carry it's primarily ladies, and so there's lots of jewelry. We have hats. We've tried really hard. Of course, this has just been our first buying season, so we've tried hard to get all sizes, all price points, so all ladies can shop. Because we want everybody to feel a little bit like Dolly. It's a lot of glitz. But it's a lot of fun. But there's dresses, there's jeans, there's denim jackets, there's hats. I mean, we've got a lot of little gift items that are specifically Dolly. We've got Dolly mugs, we've got Dolly keychains, Dolly magnets, we've got Dolly t-shirts, we've got Dolly sweatshirts.
Well,
a lot, but there's a lot of band sweatshirts too, the old bands. She's got we've got a lot of country, but we've also got a lot of rock band t-shirts. So there's a little bit of everything. There's coats, there's jackets. It's just I feel like it's got something for everyone, because it's just and we're going to keep growing, and we're just enjoying it. It's all pink. Everything in there's pink. The outside's pink. The inside's pink. It's a lot of
so
pink.
You definitely know it's a girl store.
It's a girl store. Yeah. Girly girl.
Can you, or I should have asked you, do y'all do sales online? Do you have that?
We do have a new website that's been launched. We just got new websites. We had an old website for the Mercantile, but now we have a new one, and we have a new website for Dolce and Dunlap. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There is online shopping. There are, they're all, almost all the items are online.
And if someone were to come in your store and say, "Well, I like this, but it's not in my size," is there a way you can order?
We can try to, but the shortages have been tremendous. Right. We have old gringo boots, and for instance, we ordered 14 styles this year, and we got 5. Oh. So the shortages have affected everyone, but in the Mercantile, we have more hats than anybody in Middle Tennessee, because we have, our rep has taken good care of us. We have a hat bar that's really unique, where we can add bands or steam hats, or it's very different. I've only seen 2. I saw one in Texas and one somewhere else, and so it's a really cool thing where you can pick your feathers out. You can customize your own hat.
Well, that's neat.
And we even have branding where we can brand your initials. Or Rachel did one last week, and of course her last name's Tate, so that was it, just 4 letters, and she does a wonderful job, and of course Cody does too. They have actually formed crosses in the crown of the hat, or hearts. I mean, it's pretty unique. They can get as artsy as you want. But Dolce, Lindsay runs it. She's Lindsay McCorkle. She has she has a great style, and she had both all the businesses have gift certificates available. They have online websites and online shopping.
Well, that's neat. That'll definitely develop your business.
Right. And we've opened our Airbnbs this year. We have the Airbnbs that are on top of the old Jimmy Russo bar. And they are really interesting. They're called the Silver Eagle, because the Silver Eagle was the original tour bus. And we have a picture of George Jones' tour bus as soon as you walk in the door, and then you go up the steps, and each entertainer has their own room. So we have the Dolly, the Waylon, the Johnny Cash, and Conway. Conway's my favorite. Yeah. So Conway's got the gold satin sheets.
Well, that's really neat.
Yeah, but it has a website too, so you can check out pictures of the Silver Eagle Suites, and they'll come up. And so we've got 3 new websites launched. We don't have the Mama Tried done yet, but she's working on it, and the Yard. So the Yard's a neat thing in the summer. You know, it is the old Brown and Wilson's department store. And it didn't have a roof, so we've made a garden in there, and we've had live music. Each one of our buildings has a stage, and even outside the Mercantile is a campfire where we've had entertainers just play music around the campfire. So we're trying to get activities downtown. And Jenna and Randy and Sarah have buildings, and Thomas, Austin. There's just such a group of us. The McGoverns just purchased a building. So everybody's working together and Blythe to try to create, try to save our downtown.
Well, I like the fact that you're bringing more things to downtown instead of the vacant buildings like it was, because before there was nothing.
No.
So you could just drive through and say, well, I need to go to Chattanooga, or I need to go here, because you couldn't find it here.
You know, the one thing that we didn't even think about that made such a difference was electricity. None of those buildings had exterior lighting or very little lighting. I mean, it was dependent on the red light and the street lamps. So just getting lighting downtown has made a huge difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it sure has.
And we're working on Markham's right now, the old Markham's dime store. And it'll probably be a year and a half, 2 years before it's finished. We do have the roof on it, and it's gutted, but we want to make it an Outfitters, where if there's a hiker or a fisherman or a hunter, things that are tailor-made to the valley. You could rent canoes, bicycles, but things to do, because a lot of people are traveling, they're coming in, and they're just going right down the valley and leaving. And that's what we want, is them to stay and enjoy our town and you know, spread the word, because we have a beautiful valley.
Well, I know I know several people have been trying to have at least something monthly to bring people in.
Yes.
And more and more these things that we have brings people in, seeing what we have. Like, or for example, your hats, the way you fix your hats. That's not done around here.
No, the hat bar, I've only seen it one time like I said, 2 times wherever I've been. And it's a new thing, and it's really unique. And you know, of course, hats are the big thing right now because of Yellowstone. Everybody's watching Yellowstone, and we got Yellowstone T-shirts, and we're getting Greeley hats, and it's just a lot of fun. I've always loved hats, so to me, hats are just a little piece of art. And so I love hats, and we have this line, Magnolia Pearl, which is our high-end line, but I found it when I was at the doctor in Texas, and which I love to go flea marketing. A lot of people don't like the 127 sale, but I love it. And so these 2 ladies that started this were artists, and they used to go with their grandmothers flea marketing, and they were always drawn to the quilts and the lace and the textiles. So they started their own design. It's called Magnolia Pearl. And so I just fell in love with it. And so, you know, I just try to find things that are different. I try to find things that are unique, just like the hats. You know, we love art, and we just love things that are different.
Well, that's neat, because things that are different will bring people to town.
Well, maybe. Sometimes Cody gets upset with me and said, you know, not just anybody's going to wear that.
Well, that might be,
but that's okay.
There'll be something else that way. You know, so that's all right. Your store, what are your hours? How do y'all work that?
Well, at this point, we're open Wednesday through Sunday, and we're open 10 to 5 in the winter. In the summer, with daylight savings time, we'll open later, 6, and then on Sunday, 12 to 4. You know, and so right now, that's what we're doing. But all of our buildings we do are considered venues that we will rent out. We've had parties, we've had wedding receptions, teas, birthday parties, baby showers in the building. Upstairs in the Mercantile, downstairs we've had Christmas parties. We had one last night. The yard, all of that. So, we want Dunlap to enjoy their heritage. We want everybody to enjoy. Bird Spangler has brought me several things, and he told me one time. He said, I used to think about doorknobs, and this is just something really cool because we have the original doorknobs at the Mercantile, and they wanted to change them because they're low. I guess, people were shorter back then, and I'm like, no, let's leave them alone, because he said, can't imagine how many people opened that doorknob.
Yeah.
And I just think that is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to write that up.
Mm-hmm. I just think that is so cool. And I never thought about doorknobs before, but it is. He's brought me James Birch's 1940s bicycle that was restored. We have Herman's skates in the store, and Herman's a legend.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Herman was the Grand Marshal of the 4th of July Parade.
Yeah, he sure was.
He was.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Let's see. I already answered that. And so, really, your reaction to the store has been pretty successful, hasn't it? Huh?
The store has been successful. I think a lot of people, everybody that I personally have not heard any negativity. I've had so many people that are just grateful that we're not going to lose our history. I mean, it is just. I keep going back to the Mercantile, and I know we're talking about Dolce, and to me, Dolce is so cute because I love fashion, and I love the pink, and I love Dolly, but the Mercantile, I've been in a lot of old buildings because I'm drawn to architecture. I've never seen a building that has that much character, and who would have known it was right here in Dunlap, Tennessee?
Right.
I mean, the staircase, the elevator, I don't remember those as a child because there was a wall in front of the elevator. And I think a lot of people are just drawn to see, how it used to be. So I want it to feel like you're stepping back in time. And the neatest thing about that building, and I was explaining it to Big Valley Air had their Christmas party last night, and I said all of the fixtures in there, there's a few new things that we've added. They're not new, they're antiques, but I've added those. But all the fixtures along the walls, except one, are original to that building.
Right.
For 40-something years, that building was just closed. Now, everything had to be refinished and restored. And but they're all original. And I doubt that there's very many buildings anywhere that can say that.
Right. Most have been updated and everything else.
Or stripped.
Right.
Yeah.
And for someone that doesn't know the importance of history like that, they just chunk it.
Well, I had to put a soda fountain in it because I'm one of the last soda jerks. And we repurposed the wood. We lost two of the massive beams, but we repurposed those on the soda fountain. And we want people to come in and have a cup of coffee and tell stories. And eventually I would like to have quilting classes or canning classes. But I want them to feel like they've stepped back in time, where they can put that phone away for a few minutes and just enjoy some conversation and not go through the line and have to self-check themselves out and try to figure out that system, but just enjoy each other. I think we need to slow down a minute and just get to know our neighbor again. Life is short and God is good. God has put us in and given us a blessing to grow up in this valley and love this valley and meet the most genuine, loving people there are that care about their neighbors. When I was living in Florida for just a minute, I just missed home so bad. And I tell everybody, I said, I'm so happy to be home where people have loved you long. They've loved you long. They've loved you all your life. So Dunlap's a special place. It's just, the valley's just beautiful. And we want the whole valley to be showcased because it's just up to the Cumberland County down to Bridgeport. It's just beautiful.
It certainly is. A lot to offer.
It's a lot to offer. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like I've got a lot of things coming up with some of the other projects you have going on. And I know y'all been working at this, 3 or 4 years now, haven't
About
you?
3 years, and we work hard every day, and we've grown. We've got, I want people to have jobs. And last night, we want people to have the opportunity to stay here and work here and not have to cross the mountain and move away. And so that is what we're working for is to give back and to give back jobs and just I want a sense of community. Community is just something that's being lost, and I don't want it to be lost here. I mean, we want the small town feel. I'm a favor of the mom and pops. I'm very partial to the mom and pops. And, I buy on Amazon, it's fast. But if you don't shop local and you don't give back to the, like the Dunlap restaurant, Marty has been here forever. And it's an icon. Shopping local means so much to the local mom and pops.
Well, it keeps the taxes here for one.
It keeps the taxes here, and that's important. Even though we have Walmart and it's here, and we want to have a sense of hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And bless the families that started here, that have worked here and loved Dunlap all these years.
Well, people need to remember too, long before Walmart, when Walters added onto their building,
mm-hmm.
that's when they added clothing, and there wasn't any place in town to buy clothing.
No.
It had all gone, and so everybody was having to go to Chattanooga and spend their money.
And the Walters, I mean, they worked hard. They were a family that were in business for many, many years.
Right.
And, I mean, I can just name one after the other. And these people, they showed up every day. I mean, it's hard. It's a commitment. I mean, I did it in the drugstore at a young age. But, those were the best times of my life. It was fun, and you learned work ethic.
Yes.
You learned you had to show up, you had to smile, you had to talk to people and love people and go out of your way. If they knocked on the door at 10 after, you let them in. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm an old soul.
Well, I see now. I have seen since more has been redone here in downtown. More people coming downtown, because now our streets are filled with cars. There are parking spaces. Sometimes you have to go around and find a space sometimes, and that's exciting, really.
But I want them walking around, and the McGoverns are fixing to put an art gallery in, and that's going to be fabulous for Dunlap, and it's going to be some local artists, and I just think it's fabulous. The more, the merrier. And it's just great. I hope we get an antique shop, and that's something we need. And it's just fun. But downtown, we've got antique shops, but I'm talking about one downtown where because I think people downtown, they walk, and a lot of squares have antique shops on them.
Right.
So maybe one of these people that are out a little bit will come downtown.
maybe so. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you'd like to add to what we've already gone over?
No, we're just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be from Dunlap, to be from Sequatchie County, to be from Tennessee, to be an American. I'm just so thankful that I feel like God has let me live to give me this work and to give me a passion. And, our mission statement is to glorify God. We've got a beautiful chapel in the back of our mercantile. And it's a peaceful little chapel. And if you haven't visited it, I would love for anyone to visit it, because we've got a wall with nails, and it's covered already with thousands of prayer requests. And we don't read those prayer requests because I feel like that's personal. But we pray over the wall. So, everybody has bad days, and everybody sometimes messes up, and I'm more guilty than anybody. I'll wear my sins, but you know, I'm so grateful that Jesus died for our sins, and that there is a cross. And so what we do, we always, it's not about us, it's about the Lord, and it's about a calling that God put in our hearts to work on our downtown. So we don't want to get ahead of him or behind him, but I try to listen. We all try to listen. And, you know, if anybody has suggestions or ideas, we're always welcome to listen to anybody, because we love Dunlap.
Well, I know your prayer room's got pretty stained glass.
Oh,
it's got a good theme behind the stained glass.
Yeah, it's a great stained glass. Louis bought me those stained glass windows for Christmas one year, and they've been in storage for 10 years. And I had bought them for my house, or I said I wanted them for my house. Well, I had no idea how massive they are. So I said, the Lord has a sense of humor, because he knew where they were going all this time. Yeah. Well, but it's neat, because that back part where the chapel is, and especially at Christmas, that was originally stables.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we found old horseshoes, or Mr. White did. Mr. White and Alice is who we bought the building from, and they've been amazing people and so supportive to us. But he had found horseshoes under that. So originally that was a stable, and now it's a chapel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah. So we wish everybody Merry Christmas, and we're just thankful. Very thankful and grateful.
Well, thank you for being with us today. I certainly do appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for all you do. You just do an amazing job to tell everybody in the whole valley and everywhere that BTC broadcasts about what's going on, not in just Dunlap. I saw you.
We're in Pipeline.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, so well, thank you. I appreciate that. We try hard.
Yes, you do, Glenn. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And folks, remember, you can see us on BTC Fiber's YouTube page, as well as BTC Fiber Channel 18. And until next time, have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Brought to you by Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, your full-service telecommunications provider right here in the Sequatchie Valley.